Don't know if we're live.
Yep.
We're so professional.
I think we're live. Yes, we're live. It says
We're
live
live?
in my screen.
Woohoo!
Oh my gosh, what an ordeal this has been to get live today. I'm in Downsview in my car just trying to get this done, and we had computer problems and internet problems and Facebook problems all happening at once, but I'm so glad we're here for our Thursday Q&A. 17 minutes late. I apologize, everyone, but we'll get there and we'll make it work. But we have a great guest today. Karen, you're going to be excited about this one because we're all dog lovers. We have Rick Allen from Otis Allen, which is a fantastic, one of the premier dog places, dog stores, dog shops, whatever you want to call it, in Burlington, North Burlington specifically. And Rick, welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Karen. Nice to be here.
This is not our first rodeo with this, Rick, but I think we should start with your store and tell me, this is a new set of audience from what we did before. So let's just rehash a little bit. Tell me what the heck gets you into hey, I want to start a pet store.
Well, it started with my brother, actually. He originally wanted to get a pet store. He had 2 Goldens. He started researching food and where to get the best food, healthiest food, quality food for his 2 Goldens. And that's when he stumbled across Bark and Fits. So then he called me. He asked me if I wanted to go in and help out with the store because he was going to be behind the scenes. So that's where it started, researching quality products for dogs, and had found that franchise Bark and Fits, and that got us all started.
And did you start in the location you're at? Was that your first location?
Yep, first location here. We've been here 17 years now. It's been great community.
And at some point you switched from Bark and Fits. We won't get into the semantics of all that, but you felt it was a better decision to hop into this on your own and without the franchise model behind you. Just based on my, being a customer of your store, it would seem that decision has made it was a good idea for you.
Yeah, it definitely was. For many reasons, during the pandemic, we needed to make some changes, and they needed to happen quick to serve our customers. So and we'd been through a lot, so we knew a lot to get in, and now to do it on our own.
I think, talk to me about the thing that differentiates you from Wren's or
PetSmart,
PetSmart, or these other run-of-the-mill big giant box stores. Tell me about what differentiates you as an individual and as a store.
I think it's more that it's a lot of the connection. I'm here a lot. If I'm not here, my wife's here. We like people. We love dogs. And we like people too. So once we start giving the dogs all the love, and then we like to chat with people about everything and talk about their dogs. So we really have a good communication with all our customers. I'll ask them questions about, everything about their dog and about their own personal life. And sometimes I almost feel like a bartender here. People come in just to chat.
Literally.
So I think that's the big thing. We're small. We have 4 employees. So people get to know us and open up to us a lot. And that sets us apart. We will give recommendations, and I think just mainly the communication.
You're also bringing in very high quality product, and I think there's something to be said for that. And I completely understand that there's a crunch for people nowadays, and maybe they can only afford a certain type of dog food or whatever. But at the end of the day, I think one of the places where we miss is the idea that we just shove food in our dog's bowl and that's the end of it, and we don't really think about it.
Right.
So one of the things that I appreciate when I walk into your store, and we've had these discussions, is especially when you've had some changeover with different products, we've had conversations about hey, what am I feeding my dog here? What can we do? What are we giving them? Is what's important for them? These different things. And you are able to walk us through all the things, all the different products you carry. And you differentiate because you have a lot of natural product.
That's right. Yeah. We want to get, we kind of think of this store as an introduction to a healthy diet. People just go, like you said, have a dog, get dog food. They don't actually step back and read the ingredients. So, I like to say things like, none of the food we carry contain any corn, wheat, or byproducts as the customer is leaving. And hopefully they'll get home and maybe turn around that bag of dog food and just look at the ingredients. Just take your dog food, look at the ingredients, and see what's in there. Because a lot of these big companies, these big chains, they just carry whatever, can be profitable, and just generic dog food. But there's a lot better food out there. And just to get people thinking about what they're feeding their dog or cat.
And we were just talking before and Karen, you can hop in anytime. Just so you know, I don't have to ask all the questions here. But we were just talking before, like right before this started, during the chaos of trying to get it running, about the idea that there really aren't any specific regulations in Canada for dog food.
That's right. No regulations in Canada for dog food. They have to list their ingredients and they have to be correct in that. But really, there's no regulations, so they can put what they want in there.
Yeah. So,
right.
so your clients then come in and trust you, which is a really nice thing because they trust that the ingredients and that this is. So for instance, Pedro, my Portuguese water dog, is slightly overweight and he has a bit of a thyroid problem. Sounds like a human, right?
Yeah. We're seeing a lot of that.
And so ideally, what do you feed that dog? How do you, and if I were a client and I came in to you, Rick, and I said, this is what the problem is. So what do I feed my dog?
Yeah. It can be tricky, right? Because you do have the veterinarians out there and they've got some strict standards. But, typically something with thyroid or pancreatitis we're seeing a lot of, you've got to watch, the fat content in that. It's got to be like 11% or lower. So you'd want to look for a lower fat content food for that for sure. And I'd start there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, with the overweightness, I mean, you're limiting the calories in general. Because I remember our dogs have been told since we got them and we started feeding them that they were overweight. And we were like, come on, they don't look overweight. But she said, just feed them a little less, right? I mean, what do you? That's basically it.
People want to look for, a magic food that they can just feed the same amount and the dog's going to be satisfied and still lose weight. But really, it's just a calorie thing. Feed them a little less, exercise a little more, because the guidelines on the back of a food, the feeding guidelines are pretty generic for just an average dog. But each dog is so unique and individual, and its metabolism, its activity level as well. So that has to be tweaked for your own dog. If you're doing that recommended feeding guideline and your dog's still a little overweight, then you do need to just cut it back a bit.
Now, cats also, right?
Cats too, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And so treats are a big in everybody's lives, right? Especially dogs' lives and maybe even cats' lives. But so I am very, very aware of what those treats are, and I try and pick as natural as possible. So I'm assuming that you carry very natural products and treats.
Yeah, we, single ingredient items are fantastic. So, whether it's just beef liver, beef lung, just sweet potato, that's the healthiest single ingredient stuff and as minimally processed as possible are the best treats to give, and meat-based too is always a favorite with the dogs. But yeah, looking for, minimal ingredients.
So it's interesting because my neighbor, and I'm just giving you an example so that my neighbor went out and she has a little pigeon or something, some little thing. And so she went out and she went to the, a large dog store and she bought these bones and he broke his teeth.
Oh, yeah.
And so nobody, the people at the dog store don't care if they sell it to you.
That's right.
And so someone like you, going to someone like you, Rick, you and your wife, would be absolutely fantastic because, you ask what kind of dog, how big, and what can they do, sort of thing. And it's very important.
The thing is that there's a lot of stuff available now, especially even on Amazon. You can buy dog food, dog treats, dog toys, and whether or not it's actually safe, like I didn't realize up until I went to see Rick for the first time a while back. I think we had gotten our dogs early on, and the only experience I had with a dog was, if Karen, you'll recall, our dog way back in the day, Shadow. We owned a dog back when I was 15, 16 years old, around that age, and so I didn't know that rawhide isn't a thing anymore. Like, you really shouldn't be giving too much rawhide or any at all to a dog. It's not really great for them.
Yeah, not a product we'd carry. It's just over-processed, chemically treated. Dogs do not digest it very well.
So it's something that we should avoid, and yet it seems to be a very popular product in some of these larger stores.
Yeah, and they're pretty cheap, right? And they last forever, right? It's ideal, but yeah, it's not good for the dog. Like Nylabone, for example, when we first started, we carried Nylabone, and one day I'm like, wait a minute, dogs are ingesting this. And they're sure it's passing, but they're still ingesting it. So we just stopped carrying Nylabone. But if someone's going to buy a deer antler or they're looking for a marrow bone, I like to ask, okay, what kind of dog do you have?
Right.
What's its chewing level? Is your dog an aggressive chewer? You got a lab or, a bully breed, and you want to buy a beef marrow bone, the cow femur bone is stronger than your dog's teeth. So your lab's going to try and eat the bone. The bone's going to win, and you may chip a tooth.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
now,
talk to me about raw. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Karen.
Sorry. Do you carry raw food also? Do you carry?
I was just going to ask that. That's so funny.
Yeah, we do. So, 16, 17 years ago, it was kind of just becoming popular. So, we've got 3 freezers with raw food in it. So we do sell raw food. I love it. It's great for a lot of dogs. So again, we're kind of that intro store, we're getting people to think about what they're feeding their dogs. So yeah, if you are thinking about raw food, we've got some samples here. We can give you advice and information on that.
Right.
So kind of an intro to raw. We don't have a ton of it, but we do have a great product out of Smithville, nice local raw food. That we do, and just get people think about what they're feeding their pet. So yeah, raw food's been huge. It's the freshest it could possibly be.
There's the fresh stuff, and then we give our dogs from your store the freeze-dried raw food.
Yeah.
Which I think is a nice alternative for people that are weirded out by the actual raw food itself.
Totally, because people can be, they get nervous about feeding raw chicken or beef, understandably. So yeah, the next best thing is that dehydrated, low temperature, dehydrated food. A lot of people will use too if they're going camping and they are on the raw food diet. That's something you can use to substitute.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, you can package that a lot easier and take it with you. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and in pinch, you can always eat it.
You're stuck in the forest alone. Yeah. You don't have to eat your dog. You can eat the food.
Yeah, start with the food.
So I have another question, and I have another concern. And the concern I have is that, so I have really bad arthritis in my hand. So we're going to talk about leashes and walking your dog for a minute. So I found a bungee leash that really, really serves well for me. So
yes.
What would you suggest if a client came in and said, okay, Rick, this dog pulls so hard on me and my hands can't handle this and I'm an older person.
Don't get a Portuguese water dog.
You want to get a smaller breed for sure. I know a couple things. I mean, one, some training, if you're getting a large dog, you don't want them pulling. So training's a good start so that your dog's not pulling all the time. But yeah, those bungee leads are fantastic. I just sold out of ours. We've got more coming next week. There's also the hands-free leashes you can get. We've got a few here that go around your waist. Now those are great. And you might think that the dog could easily pull you over, but your low center of gravity helps with your dog not pulling you over. It can also be a great training tool with your dog so that your dog's looking to see where you're going next and not taking you where they want to go next.
Yeah. Great. That's super. I never thought of the leash. I never thought of the hands-free one.
Yeah, the hands-free for sure. The bungee's great. Alleviate some of that pulling.
Yeah. It softens that pull so nicely. And because I have 2. And so when I'm walking both of them, it's hard on me.
Right.
And but I agree. Training is something that
Yeah, it's tough. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of
Can
work,
be,
but it
and
can be worth it. And I certainly can't be like the put on a pedestal to say we've done a great job with our dogs. We've done the best we can within the framework.
oh, they're
And the
great.
hardest part with training is sticking to it and sticking to the things that you're taught, right? Because you lose those little habits over time sometimes, and the dogs
Totally.
go back to their old habits.
Oh
You
yeah,
got
and
to
they'll
stick
pick
with
up
it.
on it. They'll, yeah, you let down your guard a little bit, they're on you for sure.
Oh, well, I'll tell you right now, if I go to a hockey tournament over a weekend and I haven't walked the dogs with my wife, and I come back on Monday and we go walk the dogs, you could tell. No
Oh, yeah.
disrespect to my wife. She's
No.
great and she's good, but she likes to let them roam and sniff and all the things. And I'm like, no. We're walking the dogs. They're standing next to us. That's it. That's my thing. Right.
Yeah.
And so you could tell the difference. They even over a few days, they know.
Yeah,
You know?
totally. Well, and I
Um,
used to, I fostered this dog that was terrible on a leash. So, I would spend 15 minutes on like a working walk. This is a working, you don't get to sniff, you don't get to, we're working here and you're following me. And then, maybe later on that night, then, okay,
You
now
do a
we'll have a
sniffy walk.
leisure walk. Go sniff
Yeah,
and smell around. But yeah, that first walk's a working walk. We're going out to do business.
Yeah.
So
One of the things that I think a lot of dog owners deal with is like funny tummies, like dogs with like
Oh.
loose stool. I think that's a huge problem. We dealt with it a lot, trying to figure out the balance of the right food and what it's like. For example, our dogs just have sensitive stomachs for chicken. So we
Yes.
can't give them anything with chicken, but we can give them turkey, which I find strange. But at the end of the day, what sort of tools do you have or products do you have to kind of help once you know you've got a problem? Because like I don't know if people realize this or not, but like if your dog's stool is fairly loose, that's not actually a good thing.
No, you want a firm, solid stool for sure. Not too
Yeah.
firm that they're straining, but you want a solid poop to come, no, a stool to come. And it's a big indicator. You got to watch that. Humans and dogs. And if it's soft serve ice cream all the time, then there could be anal gland issues in that. So yeah, getting a firm stool, with fiber, pumpkin. This time of year is tough. Everything's thawed out, so there's a lot of that stuff under the snow and ice, rabbit poo, goose poo. Dogs will get into that, pick something up, and that could set them off, for days. Hopefully you don't need to go to the vet and, just maybe get them on some pumpkin, some bland food. Chicken and rice is popular, although, yeah, chicken being an issue with a lot of dogs these days. So yeah, loose stool, you can add some chicken and rice, like I said, pumpkin's great. And pre and probiotics too. Once you get that stool under control, having a pre and probiotic, getting your dog's gut health can be a real benefit to absorbing the proper nutrients from the food, having great stools, also help with immune system too.
And you've got, because I know we've bought it a few times, this little blue pot of like pre and probiotic stuff.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the company, but we use it all the time.
Yeah, we've got a few different products here. One by Thrive. I think that's the one you're talking about there. They usually come in a powder. Now it's getting more popular. You can get them in little treat forms and that, but try and get the best product possible. Even adding maybe some yogurt to your dog's food, full fat, sugar-free, no aspartame, just plain old good yogurt. That's a good probiotic too. Things like bone broth and that. There's things you can do to add to your dog's food on the regular basis to keep gut health in check.
So I saw a great little tip about yogurt on, I think probably TikTok. And it was when you finish your yogurt in the big pots, like if you buy it in big pots.
Yeah.
And you finish it, but you can never get the last little bit, right?
Right.
So you dump a cup or two of dog food in there and shake it up.
Oh, yeah.
And then use that for your dog's food, and it actually coats it in yogurt.
Great idea.
Wow.
A little bit.
That's fantastic. Yeah,
Right.
Good tip.
So we do that all the time because we use yogurt for our shakes.
Yeah.
For us humans, and then we have the pots left over, so we save the pot, put a couple of cups of dog food in, leave it in the fridge until we need it the next time, and just dump some food in.
Yeah, there's a lot of great tips out there, and I always try and remind people, like whole foods, right? Like back to nature, single ingredient stuff, whole foods, meat, eggs, blueberries, yogurt, all these things are great.
Oh, my puppies love carrots, so they always know when I'm cutting up carrots, and they'll come and sit and look at me. Okay, okay. And you know what's so great about it? You give them a whole carrot, and they actually are good for their teeth and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because
it's
they'll crunch
great.
that. You could try freezing them too. You could freeze them in the summer. Then it's a little harder for them to get through.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
And
That's a great
the
idea.
other thing, you know what Cooper liked was apples.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
we had apple trees. I had apple trees in my backyard on Britannia. And so when they fell, he'd go and sit and eat.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
awesome.
I know.
Let's
It was
talk about
very
let's talk about like oral health for dogs a little bit. So we've fallen into the routine of buying those bully sticks, which seems to do a pretty good job. We've never had the dentist give us crap about our dog's teeth. It seems to work well. We usually take the big ones and cut them in a couple pieces and then give them to them that way, or just leave it huge because then it takes them longer to get through it. Quite frankly, because it's so big that it's awkward for them at first.
Yeah.
But is that a great, like, is there other thoughts around oral health, like brushing
Yeah.
and things like that? I'm not big into that with them.
Yeah, and same here. Like there's no way I'd be brushing my dog's teeth. There's a lot of good options out there. Twice a day, 7 days a week. I'm not doing
Well,
anything.
dogs are animals, and in the wild, they don't brush their own teeth, right?
No,
So
and
they
it's
find
that
a way.
chewing. Yeah, and it's the chewing. The chewing has so many benefits from cleaning the teeth. It helps, calm them down if they have any anxiety. It cures boredom. It gets them thinking when they're chewing on things. So, again, I like a lot of natural products. I've gotten rid of some of the things that aren't natural, and a lot of people still use them. But I go back to the natural products. Bully sticks are fantastic. Tartar busters are excellent, which are a kneecap, a cow's kneecap that's been slow cooked. And they're not as hard. So even aggressive chewing dogs are not going to chip, I say not, but are less likely to chip on something like a tartar buster, a kneecap. Those are great. The best of the best, the raw bones are the best. Now, not everyone's into them, but raw bones, they're producing enzymes in their saliva when they're dealing with the raw that helps soften plaque, and then chewing on that bone will soften it as well. But I think variety, switching through, but every night, after their kibble, they've eaten, give them something to chew on. That's going to help get that kibble out of the jowls, because the kibble's just sitting there, and that's what's going to form the plaque as it's sitting there. So that chewing on different things, bully sticks, tartar busters, raw bones, just mixing it up. Cheeky rolls, something natural to chew on. At the end of the day, it calms them and helps to clean their teeth. And they only need like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. You're so informative. I like that.
Oh, thanks. I love it.
He's also incredibly handsome, so you can't go wrong there. His wife's there, right? Please.
I think the majority of my customers are women.
Well, I wonder why.
For the analytics.
Yeah, that's right. That's great. So
I just want to one more question, Rick. So if you wanted to say to 1,000 people out there, which Facebook does throw it out to about 1,000 people on our Facebook Live, what would you strongly suggest? The top thing that you would suggest about your dog and food, and let's say cats too.
Yeah, dogs and cats, they kind of same category for sure. Cats are a little more carnivorous than dogs, but I think get informed. Read your ingredients. Read the ingredients on your dog's food. Check out some of the other brands that are super expensive that you might think are super expensive. Compare them. Yeah, I think that's the most important. Nutrition is so important when it comes to dogs, that they're eating well, because it's 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You're feeding that food and rotate through. It doesn't have to be that same bag of food for the rest of their life. Rotate through the proteins. If you can go with a fish, a red meat, white meat. Yeah. I think that's the most important.
I've actually heard of dogs getting bored of their food and then their parents will pull their food and give them a different one, and now it gets better. They start eating.
The dogs are evolving. I'm telling you, they want a seat at the table.
Spoiled.
They think you're cooking for them. The timer goes off in the oven. Dog comes running. Is that for me? They want a seat at the table now, and then they can start getting picky. So that rotational feeding's helpful. You can even switch brands. It doesn't have to be that same brand for the rest of their lives as well. As long as you slowly introduce it. And if you start them as a puppy on different things, it'll be easier for them. But a slow transition between even the different proteins or different brands will make it easier so they don't have loose stool.
Yeah.
And last point that I want to hammer home because of the times that we're in currently.
Yeah.
One of the things I really do love about you as well is you carry a heck of a lot of great Canadian products.
Yeah, we always have. And that was one of the things too, why we've gone out on our own, is we want to be able to get local like this week, next week, and get as many Canadian brands as we can. So that was a thing for us. And with our values here, we wanted to really stick to those.
And every time I come in, you've got great stuff, and it's all Canadian. Not all of it. I mean, you've got some other products from other countries, but you've got great choices for Canadian product for those that definitely want to make that choice for their family and for their dogs.
Yeah, definitely.
So as we sign off, all I want to say to all the dog owners, please pick up.
Please pick up your poo.
Pick up your dog poo.
Oh, please
yes.
pick up your poo. It's just your dog. I mean, it's wonderful that you're walking your dog, but just take that bag in your pocket and pick up that poo.
Yep,
That's
there's cameras
And
everywhere.
Rick carries poo bags too, which is great.
Yeah, tons of varieties of poo bags.
There you go. Smelly ones, non-smelly ones. They're great. They're really
yeah, exactly.
Compostable, non-compostable.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, everyone. It's Rick. You're awesome. Really great. Oh, let's talk about it really quickly. We're going to put the links to your store down below. You can purchase online, right?
We do have an online store, although Shopify's been a little miserable with us lately. So we're dealing with Shopify right now. Online's never been a huge thing for us. People do love coming in the store.
Yeah,
the reason why, and the experience of coming in is wonderful. You've always got a treat in your pocket for the dogs, and they're always treated well. And keep in mind that Otis and Allen over there at Appleby and Dundas and Burlington also has a grooming center in there, so they do grooming as well.
Oh, you do?
We do, we're just a small, it's just a small. We're mainly a store with a little grooming in there.
Yeah,
we have one groomer, so she books up quick. That's for sure. But
she's been with us. She's great.
And who bakes the cookies for the dogs? Those cookies?
Not us. We've got a lady out in Stratford. She does most of the baking for us.
Ah.
Yeah.
Very good.
That'd be too time consuming for us for sure.
So Appleby and Dundas, right behind the Starbucks, because that's a really interesting and easy location for people to know. In the plaza there, Otis and Allen, open Monday to Saturday, Monday to Sunday,
7 days a week.
There you go. 7 days a week, ready to go. If you need anything, Rick and family will be there to help. And thank you, Rick. It's been a pleasure as always.
Rick.
Always nice chatting to you guys.
It's been great and very, very, lots of knowledge that you've fed us. So this is great.
Well, anytime come on by, we're here and we're happy to help.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Thanks. You. See you.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the day.
You too.
Bye.
Okay, Andy's pulled the live down, so we're good. Oh, are we still good?
No, we're still on.
Are we still live?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm just gonna shut it all down if everybody leaves.
I'll leave it to you.
Okay.
All right. See ya.